Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kirsten and I am a life coach and a travel coach for women. And in today's video, I'm super excited to talk to you about one of my favorite things to do, which is solo travel. So this video is specifically for women, specifically Black women who have been wanting so much to travel solo, but for whatever reason, most likely because of fear, you are hesitant and you haven't gotten yourself to book that plane ticket to take that trip. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get started with solo traveling, even if you're terrified, even if it's something you never thought that you were going to do. And I'm going to give you one actionable step at the end of the video that will help you start the journey of solo traveling. Okay, so you want to solo travel, but giving yourself excuses like, oh, it's too scary, I can never do it alone, blah, blah, blah. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the 3 lies that you've been telling yourself about solo traveling and get you to take your first steps. Really, knowledge is only as valuable as it is useful. So I really want you to set an intention for this video, wherever it might be, so that you can get the most value out of it. Going further, if you really like this information, or if you're a person that kind of absorbs information better through written content, I actually wrote an article talking about some of the similar things that I'm going to talk about in this video. It will be linked here, wherever, in the publication Black Girl Nerds, and it talks about how to get started solo traveling. Or you can sign up for my newsletter, and the link will be below in the description, where I talk about my life solo traveling, living abroad, to give you some inspiration to do the same, to travel and live the life that you love. So myth number 1, or lie number 1, that you tell yourself is that it's too dangerous. And even though you've probably seen tens, 20, maybe hundreds of girls solo traveling through their Instagram feed, you somehow think that it's too dangerous for you. Well, I know that you've already probably heard the excuses of, well, it's dangerous everywhere. You just have to go for it. And if you go for it, then it's not as scary as you think, blah, blah, blah. All those are really good advice for certain people. But the truth of the matter is, if you grew up in an environment where you had to worry about your safety, if you grew up around a lot of gang violence, if you grew up in a violent household, if you grew up and you had bad things happen to you because you went to a new place or you met a new group of people or whatever, solo traveling is going to be harder for you because you have that trauma in your body, in your mind, in your heart. You have those limiting beliefs in you, and that is not your fault. So don't beat yourself up if you're like, oh, I'm just not brave enough as those other people, or why can't I be like them? It's okay. You can go at your own pace, and you have to trick your brain or show your brain, not even really trick your brain. You have to show your brain that the world is not as scary as you once believed it to be. And so to do that, I always tell people when I'm coaching someone or just giving someone advice is to start small. Like, think about going to a city, maybe an hour away from where you live, going to a place that's maybe 4 hours away, going to a different state, going to somewhere where it feels far enough, where it's out of your comfort zone, it's out of the familiar, but you still can have access to going back home. You can still safely bring yourself back home, because you have to slowly show your brain that it is okay to step outside your comfort zone. And you do that more and more. And you can set a goal for yourself, like every month, to try to go 2 hours this month I'm going to go 2 hours outside of where I live. Next month I'm going to go 4 hours. Next month I'm going to go out of state. Whatever timeline you need for yourself, to set that for yourself and to slowly work your way up to exploring on your own. And when you're in those moments, when you're alone, when you're eating at a restaurant by yourself, and you're at the movies, you're just walking in a new town, really pay attention to what you are feeling. Pay attention to, do you feel nervous? Do you feel scared? And take a few deep breaths. When you get to yourself and you start to freak out, go to something that is going to calm you down, which is taking those deep breaths. It could be listening to your favorite song. It could be talking to someone. Because if your body is trained to react. So if you know that, for example, if you take your trip to, I don't know, Mexico, and you start notice that your body starts to react because it's new, it's different, and you start to feel nervous or anxious or cautious, you can know that you can know how to calm your body down by doing those techniques. And furthermore, the second lie that you're probably been telling yourself is that it's super lonely. And if you're an introvert, that's probably okay because you like your alone time. But if you're an extroverted person and you like to be around people and you kind of need to be around people, you need to travel solo because there are times when you are going to be just by yourself and you have to sit with yourself, and there are many benefits. But in actuality, it's so easy to make friends while solo traveling. One of the easiest and probably widely used resources that I have personally used is Facebook groups. There are also meetups. Also, I have made friends by doing things that I love doing. Like if there's a dance class, if there's a salsa class, I will go and take class. If there's a yoga class, I will go take class. And I've met people that way. By doing things that I love doing, or doing tours. Tours are also an excellent way, group tours, to meet people. So there's so many opportunities to meet with other people. Like if you don't mind sharing a dorm room, if you don't mind staying in a hostel, and thinking about too, like maybe if you want to put a bulk of your money towards expenses, maybe you don't eat out as much and you cook. So it's really about being flexible, seeing where you can put your money towards, and being intentional with your money, knowing ahead of time where you want your money to go and not thinking that. And the last thing I want to talk about to kind of help you get over your fear and get started is just having a general safety plan. And when I can do a longer video on like safety tips, on how to travel, and I can link in safety tips and self-care tips. Aminah from Aminah's Adventures did a great video recently about that. So I will link that below. I can also do my personal safety tips and go into more detail when it comes to solo traveling. But the number one thing, and I think a lot of people have said this and reiterate this, is to do your research. And what that means is not just reading one or two pages that come up on Google search about a country. Really look for the positive and the negatives of a country. Really understand, what is the culture like. Look if there are a lot of Black tourists. Are there Black people there? Do Black people travel there? I'm not saying that has to be your number one deterrent. Okay, there's not a lot of Black people that go there, so I'm not going to go there. Not saying that, but really understand, what is the crime rate? Look up the crime rate. And I currently live in Spain. Some of the safest places that I've been to, I live in Spain right now. I feel I've lived here for almost 3 years now, and I love that I can walk home at night without having to worry. I can walk on Cuba. When I went to Cuba, which if you go to Cuba, you will, and you're a woman, you will receive a lot of cat calls and a lot of attention. But it's safe. I felt safe. There's a very low crime rate. People are very helpful. Same with Mexico. When I've been there, even when my Spanish wasn't that great and I couldn't communicate with a lot of people, there were still people asking me if I needed help. One time, I went out to eat and I was talking to the waitress about getting to a certain place. I think it was a beach or a zoo. I'm not really quite sure. Can't remember. But she not only gave me directions, but she also gave me her number. She wrote down her number and told me to call her if, anything was wrong or if I had any problems or I needed more help. So you'll realize that people are good, and trust your gut. I think that's the number one reason, or number one tip really, is to trust your gut. And if you don't know how to trust your gut, if you don't know what that expression really means, then going back to my first tip, and getting out there and going into places that are unfamiliar but still a little bit safe, will help you to kind of, the number one thing that you can do is to get started on your solo traveling is this: stop making excuses. Stop telling yourself that you can't. Stop telling yourself that you're too afraid. Stop telling yourself that it's too scary or too risky or that it's not for you. Stop doing that. And when you start changing your language and you start changing your self-talk, there is so much that you can do, including solo traveling, because it's not really just about the act of solo traveling. I think it's about so much more. I think it's about showing yourself that you can do something. It's about your independence. It's about being able to experience something that you never thought you could. Small portion of people. There are still so many people that are staying where they are, staying, just in their own little world and not stepping out because they're too afraid. And you have to ask yourself, if you want, what are you going to regret? At the end of the day, if your life ended, tomorrow, are you going to regret not taking that risk or that chance? Most likely, yeah. So that would be my tip. And if you need help with, if you're like, I love this video, but I need someone to kind of hold my hand or walk me through it, or if you want to dig deeper into those fears and understand really what's holding you back, I do offer coaching and travel consultations around solo traveling and around living abroad. So you can click the link in my description to book a free session with me and find out if I can help you work through your fears and get you on the road to creating a life that you love through travel. If you watched the video to the end, thank you so much. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment on which country you want to solo travel to.